Novice knights and good friends Arthur and Ruby are helping out with medicine delivery to an orphanage of sick children when they encounter Tiana, and learn that the current illness plaguing the orphans is no sickness, but rather from a poisoned water supply thanks to the nefarious deeds of the Race Empire. Unwilling to stand by, Arthur and Ruby decide to work with the Sinanites to confront the poisoner and retrieve the antidote, off his dead body if necessary. So begins the introduction of Arthur and Ruby in Chapter 1-2, Fledgling Knights. Objective: kill the poisoner Desaad and recover the antidote. Desaad's men have fled up to the volcano and in the opening cutscene brutalize one of their own soldiers and leaves them at 1 HP. This attack actually will cripple the unit, making him a free capture by any of our forces, an important point that we will get back to later. Arthur and Ruby arrive on the scene first, and we can only control these two for a while, so let's talk about them. Arthur is a very powerful sword cavalry unit, boasting some neat stats and skills, and critically has access to Flourish, one of the very few ways that you can semi-reliably injure enemies to set up for cripples in the early game. Capturing enemies is a fantastic way to get items and resources for free, and more importantly, captured bounty targets not only contribute to a higher player rank at the end of the game, but doubles your rewards. While Flourish has some drawbacks and can be unreliable, Arthur himself is more than solid enough as a unit, and injury setups are just the icing on the cake. Ruby starts off quite weak, and is what we can consider a growth unit. Thanks to Paragon, she can be trained slightly faster than other units of her level. Her promotion is rather difficult to achieve on account of needing to do combat with two different weapon types, and needing to grind up shield rank on a unit that will dodge more often than she blocks. If you navigate these problems, however, you will recruit Clifford for free in addition to Ruby, a monstrously powerful unit that will definitely be worth the investment if you choose to go for it. Both Arthur and Ruby must survive on their own in Fog of War until the rest of the Sinan Knights can arrive to reinforce. In Berwick Saga, Fog of War works differently than it does in Fire Emblem. Namely, vision constraints work both ways, and the enemies also operate off the same logic that you do. If you cannot see the enemies, then the enemies also cannot see you, which means that they will not be able to pop in from the fog to attack you unexpectedly if no other enemies are in sight to give that vision to them. Use this to sneak Arthur and Ruby around while waiting for help, or alternatively just charge in. Both units can definitely hold their own for a while until reinforcements arrive. At the start of turn 4, the rest of your deployed units will arrive in the southern area, and it's time to unify your forces and push on. A little bit north and you will find the enemy soldier that was beaten to an inch of his life. He can be captured for free and is carrying a single sedative, and curiously, the boss Desaad is holding a single charge of Berserk. There is an item to the east of the map that can be picked up at your convenience. It is an ancient amulet used to craft some high-power magic orbs. All crafting materials need to be retrieved to max out the Atelier crafting in Berwick Saga, so make sure to get every material in the game. The main gimmick of the map is the boss. His one use of Berserk may be easily neutralized with the free sedative you got off the captured man, but he is otherwise unarmed for now. On turn 7, an enemy priest spawns in from the western side of the map carrying a 5-use Silo Orb, which happens to be Desaad's weapon. If he reaches Desaad, then he will trade the orb over to the boss and arm him with an exceptionally dangerous weapon. But fortunately, he can be easily intercepted and killed. Once this enemy is taken care of, Desaad will never be able to attack you after his one use of Berserk. As soon as this threat is defused, the map is functionally over. Take your time in clearing out the rest of the enemies, and treat Desaad as a human punching bag to train some weapon ranks on until he dies. Reminder that in Berwick Saga, weapon rank EXP drastically falls off after turn 24 of any map, so don't spend too long here if you're doing any degenerate grinding. With this map complete, both Arthur and Ruby will be available to hire for future maps, but we definitely don't need to hire them now, since there are no more maps in Chapter 1. We will now proceed to Chapter 2. See you soon.